Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors at Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me again today. And if you're joining me on the premiere, please don't forget to ask any questions about this video, videos that you want featured on the channel, or videos that have been featured. And I'll try to get back to as many people in the comments. This video is about news from Liverpool. The first story comes from Toxteth, and it happened on the 9th of July. A woman was shot by police in a Liverpool street after reports that she was brandishing a knife. Emergency services were at the scene in Toxteth, where a large cordon was erected around the area. The injured woman was rushed to hospital shortly after the incident and is currently receiving treatment for her injuries. Merseyside Police have referred themselves to the independent organisation for police conduct, who are now carrying out the investigation at the scene. Witnesses in the area have described the incident as traumatising, as forensic investigators and police officers continue to work in the area. It happened on Cairns Street in Toxteth shortly before 2 p.m. on Thursday after reports of the woman with a knife. Shortly after they arrived, the police shot the woman on North Hill Street and then was taken to hospital in an ambulance. Her condition is not clear. Officers helped the woman with first aid before paramedics arrived at the scene. The road was cordoned off and more police officers arrived in the area. Merseyside Police confirmed they had referred themselves to the IOPC over the incident, and an independent investigation would now be carried out in relation to what happened. A spokesman for the force says that we can confirm we are currently dealing with an incident in Toxteth. Officers were called at 10 to 2 on Thursday the 9th of July. Patrols attended the scene and a woman was shot by police and suffered an injury to her upper body. The woman has now been taken to hospital for treatment. An investigation is underway and the area is currently cordoned off. People in the area described how traumatising it was after seeing the woman injured in the street. One man who lived in the area said that she was brandishing a knife and making threats before the police arrived. He told the Echo newspaper that he could see her in the street with the knife and she was shouting at people. She ran towards Sugar and two police cars pulled into the street on either side of them. When the neighbour went outside to hear what was going on, he heard a loud bang and then she was on the floor. More police kept turning up and they were surrounding her and trying to help her while she was on the floor. She was handcuffed while they gave her first aid and they were shouting for people to get back and turn off their phones. The officer was talking to the woman and stroking her arm, telling her she would be okay. She was put into an ambulance really quickly after that and police were asking people to go back to their homes. Another neighbour said it was really scary and they had never seen anything like it. Video footage of the aftermath, which the newspapers didn't publish, shows 6 officers surrounding the woman. They can be heard speaking to her and telling her they would get her help and the ambulance is on the way. Dovey Street, Telio Street, North Hill Street, Alwys Street and Admiral Grove are currently all closed off due to the investigation. Officers are currently going door to door on Dovey Street, hoping to speak to witnesses, while forensic officers are working within the cordon on North Hill Street. A spokesperson for the IOPC said they have begun the investigation and the incident was referred to them mandatorily at 2:45 on the same day of the incident. So we'll definitely keep you updated on anything that does happen in that story, but from the looks of things, this woman seems like she's in a very bad place in her life and I hope that she gets the help that she needs, and it's good to hear that nobody else was injured in this story. But the second story of this video is about a drug dealer also from Liverpool. He's been convicted, he's admitted to it and he will be sentenced in a few days. He's actually been on the run for a few years. His other friends and co-defendants were sentenced in 2016. And this story is very interesting, mainly due to the fact that the Dutch judges wouldn't extradite him to the UK because of the conditions in Walton Prison in Liverpool. They classed it as degrading. British authorities were left stunned when they applied for a cocaine and heroin trafficker to be extradited to the UK, following his capture 2 years ago on the run. Judges in the Netherlands feared he would be sent to HMP Liverpool, where they believed there was a real risk of inhumane and degrading treatment. The concerns raised during a hearing at the Court of Amsterdam in May last year frustrated Merseyside detectives and angered the Ministry of Justice. It wasn't until July this month that the judges were satisfied conditions at the Hornby Road complex were no longer degrading and lifted the freeze on his extradition. How embarrassing must this be for the UK prison system to be getting told by another country that we are inhumane, that we are not abiding by human rights, that the conditions at Walton Prison and other prisons were so bad that they refused to send prisoners back there. He previously wasn't allowed to be named in the actual warrant, but now they've actually been able to name him. He's 35-year-old Joseph Graney. He's a twin from the Liverpool area, and he worked alongside Michael Barlow, allegedly, who was a massive drug dealer in the area. Barlow holidayed in Dubai and splashed cash in Harrods, and they said that he was moving the highest quality purity cocaine by the kilo from a luxury apartment. He also made the headlines by donating dirty money to St Francis Xavier and St Peter's Catholic Church, an Everton youth club in the area. Unbeknown to Barlow, police were covertly filming his gang and listening to him boasting in his BMW, saying that he was up to his eyebrows in gear. Barlow, 34, was arrested. His second in command, Joseph Graney, the twin, was also arrested. Alan Foster, 43, was jailed for a total of 38 years altogether. Paul Graney of Vauxhall, he managed to evade arrest along with another suspect, Liam Mills, who is still at large. Liverpool police say that they heard that Paul Graney was convicted in the Netherlands of more drug crimes and also passport-related offences. Despite the fact that he was sentenced and in a Dutch prison, the judges across the North Sea were concerned about him being transferred to Walton. They argued conditions amounted to inhuman and degrading treatment contrary to Article 3 of the European Court of Human Rights. Referring to the National Report on the State of Prisons in the UK that was published in 2018, the Court of Amsterdam heard how prisoners had found the most disturbing conditions in some of the UK prisons that they'd ever seen, and conditions that had no place in an advanced nation in the 21st century. The chief among prisons in the criticism of Walton said it was plagued by rats, flooded with drugs, and inmates were living in squalid conditions, labelled by the inspectors as the worst they had ever seen. The findings sparked an overhaul, including the appointment of a new governor who led a major push to improve the Victorian-built site. The prison population was decreased by 500, allowing a wing-by-wing refurbishment. An industrial clean and also pest control took place immediately. Dutch judges reversed the ruling 2 months ago in 2020. Only now in 2020 are prisoners getting human rights standards in the UK. And that was only after they was embarrassed by their Netherlands counterparts. Graney was arrested at Manchester Airport on June the 10th, and ironically he was sent to HMP Altcourse, which is a different prison to the prison they thought he was going to. The inmate appeared on video link via the prison and admitted to conspiracy to supply cocaine and heroin between May and November of 2015. His solicitor said that he played a lesser role in the 2015 drug plots that his brother Joseph was jailed for already. Prosecutors accept that he was certainly below his brother in the hierarchy and only joined the gang in the latter stages of the conspiracy after they suffered a number of setbacks and the arrest of several couriers and the seizure of large shipments. The police bugged the gang's apartments in the Waterside Apartments in Prince's Dock, where a camera hidden in the ceiling recorded every single thing they did. It showed hundreds of thousands of pounds being counted in a machine and regular kilo-sized white blocks with not a single fingerprint on or DNA found. They wore latex gloves and were forensically aware of what they was doing. They said the purity was very high and it was shipped across to the UK by major dealers. When the officers covertly visited the flat, they discovered tick lists mentioning 147,000 deals, mobile phones, drugs and cash. Joseph Graney cut the drugs and counted the notes. He kept them in a microwave before moving to a middleman referred to as the accountant. The ringleader, Barlow, was seen in London spending at will with wads of £50 notes and bought £500 shoes for his mistress. All of this came crashing down, they said, when the police seized his Audi's, motorbikes, drugs and thousands of pounds in dawn raids in July the 14th, 2016, following a joint investigation by the National Crime Agency. Paul Graney will be sentenced on July the 22nd. And I thought this story was very interesting. Not only does it highlight the serious nature of some of these gangs, but also the reasons as to why countries won't let other prisoners be extradited. How embarrassing in 2020 for the UK prison system to be getting described as inhumane. So I really want to hear what people have to say on this, and if you have any experience with the prison system, please leave a comment below about it, and please don't forget to like the page and also follow us online. And I'll be back again very soon with some more news. Peace.